Okay, we're live. Wow, that's kind of bright. Woo, bright, bright, bright. I'm working on the lighting in the office because that's glass and it's not non-reflective glass. So when light hits it, it's like bing. It like, man, I gotta get rid of the thing. Um, it it just like reflects. Like if I turn this guy on, watch what happens. See, it's a reflect. Actually, that's not good. Anyway, welcome to Thrive Thursday, everybody. Let me know when you're here. My hair is getting long, 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 longy, 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 longy. Make sure we're live on all the different channels. We are streaming live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and we were going to go on Twitter, but we didn't. So we didn't. So let me know when you guys are coming in. I'm going to talk about something pretty cool that I am doing with a good friend of mine who I've been posting with. Good friend of mine who I met through my buddy Ken Walls. So let me know when you're here. And by the way, if you guys are coming here for the first time, if you're on Facebook and you're watching, you need to go here if you want to comment so that I can see your name. If you're coming from other places, we're going to be able to. Hello, Jenna Capozzi Ruckerson. How are you? Very good to see you. This is my dear friend Jenna Capozzi. She's coming to us from LinkedIn. This is. I'm just going to shout out to her for a minute. So powerhouse, like in the entertainment world, producer, director, worked on Nash Bridges with Don Johnson and Cheech. I don't know if I can go into some of the stories you told me, but I won't go into some of the stories you told me. But had her own production company, has her own production company, and just an awesome, awesome, awesome lady. You like how he did it? Watch. Ready? Boop. I can do this. Boop. Here's Rihanna. Hello, Rihanna. How are you? So go here if you're new to the streams. Hello again, Phantom Philosopher. Christopher's coming to us from YouTube. I love this platform because you can stream multiple places. Wow, it is super, super bright. I'm like washed out. So let me get rid of that banner. How is everybody? Please let me know how you doing. Please let me know. Let me know. Let's see. Jason says, hello, James. Great to see you again. Jason here from the Jewish Broadway show. Always love what you have to say. Welcome, Jason. Thank you. Very good to have you here. I'm going to talk a little bit tonight. You know, it's Thrive Thursday, and I started this for those of you guys who are new to the stream. I started this when I was doing that show, which is closing on April 16th. But I don't know if you guys saw, Andrew Lloyd Webber himself said, I don't think this is the last we're going to be seeing of Phantom. So I started these Thrive Thursdays when I was doing Phantom as I would walk home from the theater. And they were really cool because I got to connect with a lot of people who I never connected with. You know, there's a big distance when you're on the stage at one of these big theaters between the performers and the audience. You know, what I learned, well, thank you, Christopher. Good. Finished up a job for that. It's awesome. What I learned is that connection, it's really powerful. And I loved connecting with everybody who would come and see the show. Some of the questions were great. And we've created a really cool group of people. So that's how this whole thing started. But what I want to talk about tonight is something that, it came from the gestation of my book, The Art of Survival Guide. And it's about branding and creating a brand specifically for artists, but it goes for anybody, no matter, I talk about it in the book. I talk about a car salesman. No matter what business you're in, whether you're an artist, an accountant, a teacher, a mom, a dad, you have a brand. You have a brand, and that brand is valuable, and it allows you to build your life around who you really are, the true you, right? Rihanna has a business on creating dolls. They're beautiful handmade dolls. The dolls, not the dolls themselves, but all the costumes and the clothing she creates and all that kind of stuff, right? So that's a brand. And identifying the brand and making sure your message is on point when you have a business is super, super important. And that's what I talked about in the Artist Survival Guide. And for those of you guys who've been following me for years, it's always been about that. It's always been about thriving, overcoming adversity, being clear of purpose, not clear of purpose, not clear away from your purpose, but clear of purpose. Literally, making sure that your purpose is really what you want to do. And that is your message. That is who you are. That is the core you. And that is the story that you're sharing. So Christopher says this. So what you're saying is that someday Phantom will rise again. I guess it's true. The legend of Phantom the Opera will never die. I think it will absolutely rise again. I think it's just a matter of time. I think there are a lot of pieces that go into play on Phantom and Broadway and producerially and money and return on investment and all that kind of stuff, right? It is a business. And that's in the book too. It's not called show. It's called show business. And the word business is bigger than the word show. So you have to realize that. I have fluff on me. So how does your brand affect you? How does your message affect you? How does your purpose affect you? So a few months ago, I spoke at an event called the Turn It Up event with my buddy Ken Walls and Craig Duswalt. They created this event. And I have been for a number of years speaking at these big, huge events. I didn't start with, but I ended, I did the first 10X GrowthCon, Grant Cardone's 10X GrowthCon. Then I did the second. I sang at that one. I spoke and sang at the first, sang at the second, and I think I sang at the third or fourth. And then I did ClickFunnels. I was on the stage for Russell Brunson, and I spoke and I sang there. And then I started just expanding and expanding. And this Turn It Up event was one of those sort of events. It was a very exclusive private event. Only, I think at the first one, there were only 30 people there. They were high-end people. And I started talking about communication because that's what I love. That's what I've been doing for 40 plus years. I've been standing on a stage and communicating a message, a story, a show, words, and how to effectively do that and create a positive effect, right? Because sometimes communication ain't great. I hate you. You're this, you're that. You're pointing fingers. Look at the world. The world's effed up right now, people. It's crazy. Everybody's pointing a finger at each other. There's no sense of stability. So you need to be that stable point for you. And in business and in life and in art, if you're not stable with your purpose and your message and clarity on who you are, it's going to be a rough road, right? We get pulled off. I was at an event. I was at the premiere of the Yogi Berra movie. It Ain't Over. It's a documentary, amazing documentary on the great Yogi Berra. So when it comes to your city, it's just doing a tour now, premieres. I would go see it. But there's a young baseball player there, pro baseball player, and there is even like his purpose, like he's focused on doing powerful dude, Major League Baseball player. But even with that, there are distractions, right? The top of the game, literally the top of the game. But there are distractions that come on and they take us away from our purpose. That is life. But how do we stay true to that? So at this one event, the Turn It Up event, I ended up meeting Craig Duswalt, who did the event with Ken Walls. And I had started building communication platforms for people, meaning like I would help them with communication. I would help them talking from the stage or communicating from the stage. And a lot of that had to do with messaging and where you're going, if you're pacing the stage, how you're creating your story, a beginning, middle, and end, all the stuff that I've learned over 40 years. I worked with some one massive high-end guy in Las Vegas who is, he's in the real estate industry. And I worked. And then I helped my buddy Ted do his one-man show. We took it to Edinburgh, structured that, rewrote a lot of it. And then Craig said to me, "Hey, I've got a one-man show." I was like, okay. So I helped him sort of guide that one-man show. Craig was the former assistant to Axl Rose and Guns N' Roses and Air Supply. And then he left the rock world because he was in the RockStar world. I mean, imagine touring with those guys, and became a pretty powerful expert marketer over the past 15, 20 years. And so he said he has a story that he wants to tell, that he started to write about his life backstage. So in exchange for me helping him, he was going to help me with some stuff. And then we were at this event and he goes, you know what? After I spoke, he's like, let's do something. So we created a thing called the RockStar Power Program. His company is called RockStar Marketing. And mine is, as you guys may know, Unleash Your Star Power, right? So we combined it. And I was like, well, what about RockStar Power Program? And it's about communication and speaking and identifying your story, creating your story. And we did it. And we had a really cool and amazing, successful first go at it. And it was, it was cool. We had, I don't know, 30 some odd people in it. And Zoom calls, working individually. Some of these calls went up to 2 hours. It was a 6-week program. And we recorded all those and really dove into how to create a story and a message. And then we were like, well, wait a minute. There were so many successes with this program that we wanted to do it again. But it took a lot to coordinate the one-on-ones. So what we did was we took all of that video content, which is, there are 6 modules because it was 6 weeks. And again, they range at least an hour to sometimes 2 hours, right? So there's a lot of footage and a lot of content that you'll learn. And I added 5 bonus videos to this program. Now, when we did the program originally, it was $2,000. And we had a lot of people join. But we're not doing that. We're putting it out there. I'll tell you what it is in a minute. For a limited number of people at, well, I'll tell you what it is, $497. And it's an amazing piece of branding. It's an amazing way for you guys to understand and grow and learn and build your story. I'm going to put the website right here. It's rockstarpowerprogram.com/story. And there's a really cool video that Craig and I did, and I just encourage you guys to look at RockStar Power Program. Oops, look at this. I can't do 2 things at once. Story, RockStar Power Program. Yeah, there it is. So I put the link in there. So you guys should take a look at that. Craig and I are going to be doing some live streams together, and we're limiting it because there's an event that he's hosting in April, at the end of April, and there's like 180 people coming, and we're going to be offering this up probably at a higher rate at that live event. So this is going to change. It's going to go up to more than $497, but it's all about branding. So I just wanted to put that out there and take a look at it and see what you guys think and pop in and join. I think it's a great investment for you. Let's see. What does Christopher say here? Christopher says, I hope this is Phantom. I hope it come back. They add my favorite line from the older versions. Also, I agree. Everyone does has a birth. We just need to find out what it is. I agree 100%. 100%. And that is, that's part of what this program does. It literally takes you through the beginning, middle, and end of a story. Let's see. What is this here? I said this before, as the late Power Ranger actor Jason David Frank once said, you can do anything you want to do. All you have to do is believe. He was a true superhero and he will never be forgotten. Yeah, you know what? I agree with that. Here's something I'm going to add to that. You have to believe, but you have to do. Right? If you just believe, like a dream for me, like go after your dreams or, just live your dream. Well, you got to put some action behind it. That's why I had those t-shirts. Action creates traction. Because a dream without any action is just a dream. Believing you can do something is great. But yeah, like I believe I can climb Mount Everest. Okay, cool. So do it. You see what I'm saying? So I think there's an additional part to that. And I talk about this with artists all the time. It's like, you want to go after your dream as an artist. I was coaching an actor in the UK, like way out in the UK in the country. And it was like, well, I want to be on the West End, but you live in the country and you're not going to go into London. Well, there are all these obstacles. Okay, well, let's figure out how to overcome the obstacles. Let's solve the problems. You have to take action to solve the problems. I'm just going to make this up. Well, I don't have any money, so I can't live in the city. Well, go get a job in the city that pays more money, because when you get a job in the city, it's probably going to pay more money than it would out in the country. Well, I can't afford a place. Well, find some people to live with. Look, when I got to Manhattan, it was a different time, but I had a roommate. I had multiple gigs to try to generate income. They were targeted. Let me be clear. I didn't have multiple gigs. I had 2 gigs, but I was so focused on what I wanted to do that those gigs were literally so that I could have the freedom. And I worked, I went to work, but to have the freedom to be able to go and audition. I made my career the thing that I was focused on, and everything else fit around that. Does this make sense? So I hope it does. So I had a purpose, I had a vision. And then I said, okay, how do I make that happen? And there's a chapter in the book called Don't Let Your Day Job Become Your Life Job. I think it's a chapter in the book. It's certainly a line in the book. Because so often we give up our dream because we have to make money to do something else. Jen and I talk about this all the time. Jen is one of my closest friends who was on here, the person who worked, with Nass Bridges and has this huge production company. We talk about that a lot. How you can get off of your purpose because you have to make other things happen. I've got a wife and kids. I'm not on Broadway right now. Right? So when you're not on Broadway, you're not making Broadway money unless you're doing something else that makes that Broadway money. And even the ensemble people on Broadway, they're not making what the principals are making by far. And when the pandemic hit, things just screeching halt. How do you keep your purpose alive? How do you keep your purpose alive while at the same time being able to survive and thrive? That's the game, right? That's why I created these programs. That's why Craig and I created these programs, because you have to invest in yourself, folks. You got to invest in yourself without question. If you're not let's say a singer, well, I don't want to take voice lessons. Okay. All the other people are. So who's going to be more prepared? You're a pro athlete. I'm not going to go to the gym. I'm not going to work out. I'm not going to pitch today. All the other pitchers are. Who's going to win out? There's only so far you can go without investing in yourself and having a clear purpose and a clear plan. I hope this makes sense. What do you guys think? Where is everybody coming from? I know people put that in there. Christopher, where are you from? I think you may have said it before. I don't know where you're coming from. So let me know. Let me know where you're coming from. I'm going to be all over the map doing some cool stuff over the next couple of months, raising money for a movie. So I'm going to be meeting with a lot of different people around the New York, Chicago, Washington area. Christopher's a small town in New York. I'm just a small town girl living in a lonely world. It took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, not New York, born and raised inside Detroit. What small town? What small town? Let's see. Jason says, I don't read these. I just put them up. So if there's something crazy on it, too bad. A dream dies when you allow it to. It will always be alive as long as you live it and live for it. Your vision is a guide and fire to be driven. And your drive will only guide you strongly if you feed it with focus, passion, and the will to keep it going until you stop. Tampa, Florida here. I love that. And don't forget action, right? This is the thing, guys. I want you guys to remember this because these are all awesome. I'm going to put this back up again, right? Jason says this. Fire to be driven. Yeah, you're driven, but you have, now what do I do? You have to take that action to make it happen. Make sense? I know you guys understand this. I'm just taking that, making you put that action. Really? Yeah. What do you mean? You mean the lyrics? I could do, James, do you like your life? Will you find relief? Suffering New York. I don't know. I always, because I've known about Suffering for a while. Where do you live? Suffering, New York. I live in Suffering, New York. It's funny. Um, but yeah, so it is about that action, right? What action are you doing? What are you doing to invest in yourself? Look, as Jason says here, right? You have to keep that fire burning. You artists out there, anybody who's got a vision or a dream. Who was I talking to? I was talking to Ken Walls today. He's got a buddy who is very successful, but the dude's like not in the artist world, but dude went to Berkeley School of Music and plays guitar, but he doesn't do that. Like ridiculous guitar player. What action are you taking to keep your dream going? What are you doing? What action steps? Does this make sense? I hope it makes sense. Anyway, that's what I'm asking. For those of you guys who haven't seen, I want to put it back up here. www.rockstarpowerprogram.com / oops, I messed it up. /story. There it is. I was just with Tim Story, by the way. Tim Story and Gloria Mayfield Banks. He was speaking in an event that I attended one weekend. And I was speaking at that event. In fact, I got Tim Story there to speak, and the amazing Gloria Mayfield Banks. Gloria, for those of you guys who don't know Tim Story, he's the guy that, I don't know. He's awesome. You can look him up. Gloria Mayfield Banks was the #1 rep at Mary Kay, multi-millionaire, powerhouse woman in the industry, and sold her business, gave her business to her daughter. And now she's going around and speaking. These are powerful people. You want to surround yourself with the powerful people who are making differences in the world, who are moving forward, who are taking the action toward their dreams, who are becoming the rock stars in the world, or who are the rock stars in their world. Look, this whole thing came about for me because I was watching a video. I was working on something on the computer, and this video popped up, and it's a person. It was like, hey, do you want to know what it's like to be a Grammy Award-winning singer? Well, I can show you. I can show you exactly what to do. And do you know how I know? Because I was backstage and I watched them. And I went, what? You were backstage and you watched the Grammy Award-winning singer. So you're going to teach other people how to be a Grammy Award-winning singer. That's like saying, hey, listen, do you want to learn how to fly a plane, a jet plane? I can teach you, because I was sitting there one time and the cockpit door opened up and I watched the guy holding the steering column. I was like, it's a little more drastic. But you know what I'm saying? It didn't make sense. So that's where this whole idea was born for me, because I want to teach people to unleash that star potential. I actually don't think of myself like, and I don't think the people who have reached high, I'm not saying that I've reached high level, but I've accomplished some cool stuff. I'm like one of 16 people contractually who have done that. No, I guess Laird would be contractual. 17, right? I guess that's from my count. I have other people that have done it, the understudies and things like that, but contractually, there's a very few number of people that have actually done that role on Broadway, or any leading role on Broadway. So I looked at it and I was like, well, wait a minute. If you want to achieve a certain thing, then you need to learn from people who've actually done it. So if that's available, then make it available. So that's where this whole thing came from for me, like teaching people how to unreach their star power, right? Teaching people how to achieve their goals. That to me is where this was all born. And that's really what it is, because I see so much potential. I see people every day with dreams and drive and talent, and they just don't take the action out of whatever reason. Fear, not knowing how to do it, not having the proper steps, not having guidance, and financial wherewithal, whatever it is. There's always a way around it. When I got to the city, I didn't have any money. I mean, I got a job. My parents were great, but they weren't like footing the bill for everything. And I remember, like, I tell this story. There was one day I really didn't have it. I used to eat. There was somebody did a cookbook. Like once I think it was after Carousel or something like that. and they did a cookbook for like Broadway stars, right? Whatever. What is that? Someone who had a starring role on Broadway, right? And they're like, well, what was your favorite recipe when you got to the city? Mine was peanut butter and jelly on a spoon. That was what I would do. I had a jar of peanut butter and a jar of jelly in the fridge, and I had a spoon. And some days I didn't have a lot of food. I ate. I never starved. I always had a roof over my head, but I was focused. So what I would do is I do peanut butter and jelly. That's how I ate it. That was my snack. That's what kept me going, right? So there's always some way. It wasn't like, you get shot out of a cannon and all of a sudden you're like, you've reached this certain level. Even people who were born into like, wealth, look what happens sometimes. They go like that. What do they do with their lives? How are they building their lives? So, I'm going to share this, Rihanna. All right. Bum, ba-da-dum, bum, ba. Fear is a big one for me, but it didn't let me stop me from signing for the RockStar Power Program. Wow. Well done. Well done. Oh, look at your Facebook. It's you and I. Was that from Christmas? Rihanna was at the Christmas show in New York. And she makes these incredible dolls. And she made 2 for me from 2 different shows that I've done. And just incredible stuff. Handcrafted clothing. And actually we'll go in and dye the hair and do different features for them. Pretty amazing stuff. The clothing alone is just, it's stellar. Really, really in-depth, fine work. So that's another thing, right? Like she's got a brand. How does she market her brand? And she also has a cool story, which I'm not going to share, and she can share it when she wants to, but overcoming adversity in her own right, right? Here's a person who's powerful, who has this artistic ability and overcame a lot of obstacles to really create something pretty cool, right? So we all have these things in our life. We all have these things that that tell us not to, whatever that is. And that's why Thrive Thursday was born, right? Maybe a third doll coming. Oh my gosh. You know what we should do? We should make one and then we should auction it off at the next holiday show. I think we should do that, Rihanna. I think that would be a really cool thing, right? And then you put your card in the doll and you'll get some promo at the concert. I don't know. Let me know if you want to do that. I know they're near and dear to you, but I think how can we expand that and let people really see the work that you do? See, to me, that's the cool thing. By the way, that Mike Callanan, big Mike gave me that. It says, let me grab it. Oh, isn't this the coolest thing? It's a combination of Phantom of the Opera and Beauty and the Beast. 2 shows I've done. Pretty cool. So I sit it here. So Big Mike, if you're watching this later, sits right there. Oh, I'm out of focus. Uh-oh. I'm out of focus. I'm out of focus, people. I'm out of focus. Oh, I'm back in focus. There we are. All right. So we've been on a half hour, 28 minutes and 33 seconds exactly. I don't know. Great idea. Which character? Maybe we should put it up for a vote here and see what people say. So whatever medium you're on, whether it's YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook. So Rihanna makes these amazing. No, you know what it should be. There's no question. Should be that guy. I think. I don't know what you think, but which character that I have played over the years should she make a doll? Now you've already made 2, so I don't want you to have to make those again. So we did Sydney and look at that. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, I think that would be the cool one. The mask is going to be the tricky one, but knowing you'll figure something out ridiculously. Maybe we should do that. I think that might be the one. Now, see, then I'm like, I don't know if I want to auction that one off because that'd be pretty cool to have. But anyway, we'll give it a thought. We have a little bit of time. Jim Caruso actually reached out yesterday saying, "Hey, let's book your holiday concerts because they just get so packed up there." So we are going to do it again. There'll be a 2023 holiday concert in New York. It's either the first or second week of December. That's usually when it is. I don't do the third. Till 2025. Well, let's think about something else. Maybe we do a series of them. Well, look, me, I'm telling you what to do. All the hours of work you put into them. So there will be another. There will be another show. There's, and here's the other thing, guys. I'm doing a lot of this communication stuff. I'm doing a lot of events where I'm getting out and helping people with communication, and I'm doing it with music, and I'm doing it with spoken word as well. So like I'm going to be, where am I going? I'm going to be, because I'm also raising money for this film that Ted and I are working on. So I'm combining stuff. So I'm going to be in DC. I'm going to be in, hey, Andrea, I'm going to be in North Carolina. I'm going to be with Joel Zwick, actually, over one weekend, because we're doing I Hate Holmes. For those of you guys who go all the way back, I used to do a show called I Hate Holmes, which is a musical about Sherlock Holmes and Arthur Conan Doyle that I started in Los Angeles, written by Matty Sunshine, Joel Zwick directing, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, Morecambe and Neil Vernon, Shirley Bosom Buddies, Perfect Strangers, Full House. You got it. So I'm doing a reading of that. That'll be North Carolina. Then I literally go to DC one of those days to do some investment meetings. And then I come back, and then I'm in Chicago before that. I'm in Texas. I'm like all over the place. And a lot of this is combining performance and, call it outflow, right? You're outflowing to the world to get something. So anyway, a lot of cool stuff going on. Andrea, I don't know if you've seen it, but we launched another program. I'm just going to put it back up here. Program.com/story. Oh, I always mess it up. RockStar Power Program /story. Check it out. Check out the link and watch the thing there on the video. How do I do? I don't know. I have to talk to my buddy Ken about how I can share the screen with StreamYard. I used to be able to do it really well, but I'm not anymore. It's 9:30. It's 9:30 at night. So a lot's happening, people. But yeah, that's it. That's crazy. Crazy. When's the last time I did a Thrive Thursday? I'm probably going to be bringing Craig on. We're probably going to set a time and do a live stream with Craig so we can talk more about this program. And it's available. It's not the program, the RockStar Power Program, this version. There's going to be a limited number of people. Again, you guys, when we initially launched this, it was $2,000. Because we were spending a lot of time doing it. We're offering it for $497. It's 6 modules, which is, I didn't count up the hours, but they're a minimum hour and 20 minutes, I believe, to up to 2 hours per module. And then I added 5 extra bonus modules about communication and how to effectively communicate. And so once we hit a cap on this, we're going to raise the price, but it will be available. And you have it for you. It doesn't go away. Like, you can take as long as you want to do this program. I encourage you to do it sooner than later. And here's the thing sometimes that people say is like, what are the considerations? Well, I don't know, $497. I don't want to invest in that. I was like, well, what are you going to invest in? What are you investing in? You're investing in yourself, right? How much do you spend on, look, I did this once on like a Starbucks thing, right? It's like, if I do the math, right? Starbucks, let's say it's just $4, right? And you get it 6 or even 5 days a week, right? That's $20 a week times 52 weeks. It's $1,000 a year on Starbucks. All you're doing is this, right? You're just putting Starbucks in your body. This is something that you'll have for life, and it will also set you up to create something even greater after that. You're taking steps toward your goal. You're taking steps toward investing in who you are. Does that make sense? So I'm going to have Craig on, and we're going to be, we're going to be doing some Coolio stuff with this program. If you have joined the program, what's going to happen is as soon as we get confirmation, Craig gets confirmation on who has joined the program, and then we put you into the system, and boom, you have access to the membership portal, and you will have access to that membership portal and anything that goes in. Oh, I'm blurry again. Here I am. There I am. I'm in focus, sort of. Wait a minute. What's happening? Anything that goes into this portion of the program, you will have access to for as long as the program exists. So it's a pretty cool thing. And there's a lot of really cool people that have gone through this program, that first batch of people. And there's a lot of networking that can be done, right? That's the other thing, is the people you're going to be around in terms of like, it's not a physical program, but there are going to be things coming out later, which will be, you'll be together if you decide you want to, extend your journey with us on this program. But you're going to learn, and it's a pretty cool. There's testimonials on the page too. You guys just go look at the page just to see the testimonials from various people and the people who took the program. And like Lori Zapata, if you guys were at my holiday concert, Rihanna, you met Lori. She was the one that was taking photographs. Lori did the program. She's on there. You'll see her. She's Linda Etter's photographer. She's my photographer now. Awesome lady. So people from very, very different walks of life who have done this program. Why am I so blurry? I don't like it. I'm going to remove my add to stream. There. No, that's not good. I think it's because the light's getting wonky. All right, people. I am going to end off. We've been on for just a little under 37 minutes. And I just want to come on and say thank you and encourage you guys to go after your dreams and your destiny. This is what Christopher said that I didn't post. Also, I don't know why, but what you're saying kind of reminds me of the famous children's story that a little engine that could. 100%. 100%. Look, I am the little engine that could, although I'm 6'4" and 200 pounds. We're all the little engine that could. How many times, I'm in focus now. How many times have you been told no? How many times have you been told you're never going to make it? How many times have you been told, no, but you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. Just the fact that you're here, like the fact that you made it to out of birth. I mean, that's a huge, look, I'm gonna come into the world. That's a huge thing. The fact that you were able to, go from laying down to sitting up to crawling to walking, those are huge feats. We've all been the little engine that could against adversity and against odds. This is your chance. Do not give up. Do not sit back complacently and let your dreams just float out into the ether. You're welcome. You're very, very welcome. I love doing this. I really love doing this. Yes, I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. And then what happens? I know I can. I know I could. I know I can. I knew I could. I knew I could. I knew I could. Right? Rihanna says more than I can count. How many times? I'm going to leave you guys with this. When you go into a place that you've never been, sometimes there's trepidation. It's like going onto, Space Mountain for the first time at Disney. Oh my gosh. I'm excited, but I'm scared. What happens? I don't know it's dark in there. And then you're on the ride and you're like, oh my God, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Oh my God, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then you're done. You're like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Or whatever that journey is. Or it's like, oh my gosh, that was the worst terrifying experience I've ever been through. But you've learned something. And you've now been through that experience and you've gleaned something. You've taken something from that experience and you apply it to your life for the next time and the next time and the next time and the next time. And each time you go in and you come back and you make it through, you learn something else. And you go back in and you learn something else. And you go back in and you learn something else. That's life. It's pretty cool. But you got to start. You got to go in. Don't sit on the sidelines. Live your life. Live it. Right? All right, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. There are going to be more of these coming with Craig and I very, very soon. Remember, guys, your destiny is waiting. Please share that link out to people, the Rockstar Power Program /story. It's a really, really cool program, and we have a lot of fun. And you'll see, because those Zoom calls, they're in-depth recordings of the Zoom calls we did with the other group. You're going to see some pretty powerful stories and a lot of diversity and a lot of hope and a lot of creation and a lot of success. So here's to it. Here's to your success. Thanks for watching this Thrive Thursday. Have a great weekend, guys. See you later.